the news flash.
Yeah, news flash. Let's go. Here we are again. News flash with Sheila. How are you, Sheila?
I'm good. How are you, John Astro?
Yeah, I'm good. We are gagging for some news. Okay, it's lockdown here in Sydney, and I suspect Ricky's headed for maybe a little bit of lockdown himself. We need to know what's going on out there.
Fabulous. Okay, well, I will start off with just, if you don't mind, some feedback from people in my life on my previous two appearances on your program.
Okay.
One of them was, have I thought about maybe sticking to producing the show?
That's a bit harsh.
Wow.
They don't like what you're serving up.
Well, look, I didn't go any further with it. I just went, oh, okay. Another one was, what exactly is my segment supposed to be?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the news.
It's the news, and it's us shooting the shit.
No, this is journalism. What that person doesn't understand. This is where I actually get the real news. So
I'm reminded of a quote here, a famous quote from Frank Zappa, who once turned to Alice Cooper and said, "You either get it or you don't."
Yeah, that's one of our mantras.
I think that should be our motto: you either get it or you don't.
Well, no, but we all get feedback. All right. Katie said the other day, we were talking about, I was getting our schedule straight, and she referred to the podcast as a hobby.
Oh no! Talk about hinting at you being a loser. That's terrible.
A hobby.
Oh, a hobby.
Ricky, does this feel like a hobby to you?
No, this seems like a pretty full-time job at the moment.
I thought it was a bit rough. Anyway, look, let's not get down. Give me the news. Come on, Sheila. You're here for the news. Give me the news.
Well, can I give you one last piece of feedback?
All right.
You'll like this. Am I meaning to sound old and bumbling?
Oh, jeez. Does this person love you?
This person's a friend, right?
Yes.
Or is this a hated enemy?
I think it might be what young people call a frenemy. I guess, no, this is just me. They said, that you're playing an old and bumbling character. Is that you're meaning to do that, right? And I was like, oh, not really. That's who I am. But anyway, so let's.
I think you should cut them loose. Cut them loose.
Sounds like it's been. This is a lot of. Look. Anyway, Sheila, don't worry about that. Do you think we wouldn't have you on the show if you were an ass clown?
I'm not worried. I'm on heaps of antidepressants. Don't worry about me.
Good. Good.
There's no, honestly, they'll fix everything. All right. So my first one is the headline. Now, we're back at the Daily Mail. I'm not going to go anywhere else but the Daily Mail. So here we are. I'm finally Korean. British influencer Ollie London is blasted for saying they now identify as transracial after having eye surgery following 18 surgeries to look like a K-pop star.
Well, I think
that's commitment.
Yeah. I mean,
wow.
Well, I mean, the obvious thing you'd say is, what's wrong with that? Like, let the man be about it. Leave him alone.
So is he claiming that he is Korean now, or he always was Korean?
Okay, I'll just read you what is in the headlines because I don't go into the other part.
Nor should you.
Okay, so one of the hotlines is influencer added they have been trapped in the wrong body for 8 years.
It's a long time.
Some slammed them.
How did he get in that body 8 years ago?
I think he was born in England just as himself.
Does he I don't want to get in the ins and outs of this too much because I feel like I know what's going on in this story because of the headline, but does he differentiate between whether he is South Korean or North Korean?
I don't believe he does. He's copped a lot of hate for it. Some have slammed them for ultimate cultural appropriation, while others praises their admiration for Korean culture. So that's that headline.
Do they have K-pop in North Korea?
Absolutely not. They have a leader who used an anti-aircraft gun on his uncle. and poisoned and used two fake actresses to poison another uncle or another relative with VX gas.
That was his brother.
That was his brother.
Yeah.
They don't have K-pop. See that when life is that exciting, you fuck K-pop. you know.
Well, I've got another thought just occurred to me. He's finally Korean now that he's had all this work done. He's had the 8 surgeries on his face, and has he taken Korean lessons? Can he speak Korean?
This is all stuff that I can, if you would like, I can research it for next week.
Follow up, because I'm making a bold prediction here. I don't think he can speak a word of Korean.
All right. Well, I'll find out. I'm writing it down right now.
Okay.
So.
Well,
because that's the hard work. Like anyone can go out and get 8 surgeries and turn their face into whatever, but to learn another language, it's hard work.
It is tough. All right. Bald man in Givenchy shorts and thongs shows off his belly after being nabbed by police in a huge ice sting in Sydney.
That was Givenchy?
Yes.
Oh.
And can I just say, from the pictures, I don't think he's meaning to show off his belly.
Oh, it's
his arrest. It's his arrest photo, and his guts hanging out. So I think that's a little bit clickbaity.
So his belly has been exposed in the scuffle.
Yeah.
Sounds humiliating.
Yep.
It does. Well, you always get these sorts of mug shots. They're never good, are they? They drag you out of your house or something, and you've got, your pants around your ankles and a rubber glove on your right hand, and things never go well.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, I've never been arrested yet.
Moving on.
1972 prediction of the collapse of society is on track to happen by 2040. Economic growth will halt in a decade, food will become scarce, and human population will decline, KPMG study finds.
Slow news day.
There's still 20 years to go for that prediction.
That's a long time. That's a lot of fun to be had in 20 years.
I know.
Yeah, no, that is grim. So wait, when's it going to end? 2040?
2040. I just like the fact that they just slip these kind of end of the world headlines casually next to like a fit influencer or something on the Daily Mail. This is great.
Are they called finfluencers?
Fitfluencers.
I think so.
I apologise.
Fitspo.
Oh no, because I read this term this morning, finfluencer, and I was like, "What the fuck is that? What do they do?"
Well, one thing about the Daily Mail is that a lot of the Fitspo articles are from Australia, and it really grinds the gears of the UK commentators. They hate it so much. Underneath, it's usually, "Oh, let me guess, it's another Fitspo lady from down under." Right. They hate it.
Our colonial overlords, they just can't handle it.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to be fit for when the apocalypse happens, right? So if we've got to descend into cannibalism, you've got to be pretty fit to outrun and to, hunt.
We'll be ready. Okay, next headline I've got for you. Now Ukraine have another footy battle to worry about. Sexism row after female Ukrainian soldiers are forced to march in high heels. That's in capitals.
They're forced. They might have liked it. I don't know. No, that sounds terrible. So presumably there's a picture, is there?
There is a picture, and from gazing at the comments, most women are outraged that the heels that have been chosen are really ugly sort of 1990s secretarial pumps.
So there's no flair.
No. They're mostly upset about how unattractive the shoes are.
Would they prefer somewhat Manolo Blahniks?
Some Louboutins.
Right.
I've heard that's the main criticism of the Handmaid's Tale is all the outfits that they have to wear.
To drag. Yes. No, that's terrible. Wait. So who did the marching? The soccer team? Is that what you said?
No, well, I can only. Okay, so I think
I
maybe.
hate to say I'm confused.
Okay, so it says now Ukraine have another footy battle to worry about. So
footy. It's the pun on footy.
yeah.
Oh.
I think it's a soccer derivative.
Right. Yes. Footy. Yes. That's bold. That is bold sort of poetic devices to be using in a headline. That's great.
Radioactive wild boars have been mating with pigs in the nuclear wasteland of Fukushima
No, they
create.
They haven't.
I'm not finished. To create freakish new hybrid species, study finds.
No, it's bollocks. They haven't. That's not true. That is. Have they got pics or it didn't happen? Show me
Are they
the.
glowing green?
Researchers at Fukushima studied DNA from the muscles of animals at the site. They say wild boars have bred with domestic pigs that escaped from farmland. Creation of a hybrid species has had nothing to do with radioactivity.
Right. Okay. Well, perhaps this is how the world ends at the hand of these wooden pigs.
Like the last thing is the creation of the hybrid species has had nothing to do with radioactivity.
Well, it's a long bow to draw.
Oh, that's great. Oh, Daily Mail. Oh, okay. Next one I have. Okay. So I'll read it in the way it's been written, which is there's not a comma to be seen. And I want you to really relish the word bungling. Okay. Because they love using the word bungling and bizarre. They can't love it enough. Okay. Bungling Greek police drop stolen Picasso masterpiece on the floor after leaning it on its side while revealing the recovered painting to the media.
I love fancy artworks getting destroyed. Don't you?
Oh, do you remember that one where the woman accidentally rubbed out the face of the Jeep?
Echo?
And then she decided she'd cover it up by just drawing her own face on it.
Yeah, but that church after that had never seen so much activity, and they ended up selling like posters and cards and stuff. They really,
she did them a favour.
Yeah, she put them on the map. I mean, you know, a piece of priceless art had to get destroyed to do it. But
so if your local town is suffering a little bit, it's a bit low on, you know, it could do with a bit of injection of economic stimulus. I recommend you go down to your local art gallery and just start dropping things, drawing on things.
Drawing horrendous faces on
Botticelli's Venus.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I've got the next one, which is, I think you'll like this one. Chinese Police Academy auctions off dogs dropped from training for their, in commas, cowardice and curly ears.
No, but make up your mind. It's either their character or their immutable characteristics. Come on, you can't say I'm discharged. You're getting a dishonourable discharge for your cowardice and your weird-looking ears.
Well, I think you'll like these little hotlines underneath. The canines failed to qualify as trainees because of undesirable traits. Some showed a lack of athletic ability or were not good at fetching, but most were struck off due to their cowardice, according to the police academy. Others failed due to physical attributes like being too small or having curly ears. The auction has delighted Chinese social media users who commiserated with the failed trainees.
I feel like the CCP is like, you know, this makes perfect sense. I feel like one day we are just going to get kicked off TikTok and it is going to say for cowardice and curly ears. That's how maddening it is on the CCP's TikTok.
I think you've got the Police Academy reboot right there.
German Shepherds on patrol.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, so now we come to my headline of the week. as I like to do, I like to pick out a couple of the comments, all right? So the headline is ultra-violent horror movie about a young woman who has sex with cars and is impregnated by a vintage Cadillac stuns Cannes Film Festival.
It sounds like a fucking amazing movie. Sounds like
It does.
sounds like the movie we need. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking hell.
How can we see this movie?
Yeah.
The movie is called Titane by French director Julia Ducournau.
You speak a bit of French. Come on, say it in a French accent.
Titane?
That was good. The thing.
Je m'appelle Julia Ducournau.
That's great.
Pourquoi? Okay, so some of the comments that I've picked out. Now, you guys liked last week's. Now, the jokesters on the Daily Mail comments section have had a field day with this. Some of them were so rude. They included things about sucking tailpipes, did she have a coil inserted, all that kind of stuff. It's absolutely outrageous.
It's all on theme, though.
Well, it is. Now, this one I thought was reasonably okay. From someone in Newcastle upon Tyne, that's it then. Gonna get my woman to ride a Porsche. Can't afford to buy one. The next 9 months are gonna drag for me.
That's so long. Such a long setup, but he gets points. It is good.
So he wants a Ferrari so much he's got to pimp his wife out.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for. So another one from the UK. Trump says he's going to grab them by the dashboard.
That's good. Anything that diminishes that whole thing is good. That's great. Nice.
Another one from the UK. She's trans-technical. What's the problem?
So the Daily Mail is anti-wokesters, really.
Oh, very much so.
It's sort of like populated by anti-wokesters. I should get on the Daily Mail.
I think you should. The USA chimed in with something quite simple. Honk if you're horny.
That was a bit lame.
It's obvious, but I see where they're coming from, though.
I think you can clearly see a difference in humour standards between people from the UK and people from the US here.
Well, that's across the board, definitely.
This is a controversial topic.
Another one from UK. Get your stick or tailpipe.
Now it's just pornography, isn't it? That's just smut. That's just smut,
Well, yeah, look, that's well, I mean, I'm looking at one now that's from America, and to prove what you were saying before, more filth. So, yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, hang on. One person said, "Thank God it wasn't done by a man. The feminists would have been up in arms over it." I just put that one in for you guys. So.
Why? I'm not a misogynist. I believe in the power of a strong woman.
I know you do.
I don't want to get pegged, but
you don't. Oh, I thought there was more to that. I thought you were going to say you don't want to get pegged as a misogynist, but no, you don't want to get pegged.
No, I just don't want to get pegged.
You just haven't found the right woman.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Or maybe she hasn't found you.
Maybe she hasn't found me.
I think there's so much wasted talent down there in the comment section. We should get them all together. They should be a writer's room.
They should. No, it sounds like no, but I honestly think that they should get together and write a comedy because some of this stuff you get these establishment comedians are churning out on the streaming services is so tepid, and the Daily Mail people are off the chain. They don't give a fuck.
The Louvre launches legal action against Pornhub after its new app creates classic masterpieces using porn stars.
That sounds good though.
That does sound good.
Why
That sounds amazing.
Why the Louvre got to be such stiffs?
Hey, and they're French too. I thought they'd be really loose about this sort of stuff.
Absolutely. Get with it, Louvre.
It's free publicity as well.
You'll like this hotline. The Parisian Museum has challenged Pornhub over its classic nudes platform.
Right. Right.
The site offers interactive guide to erotic art in world's most famous museum.
Yeah, but aren't you meant to sort of like give people a gateway into fine works of art? Aren't you meant to say you like Pornhub? That's okay. Maybe you'll also like this Renoir. Exactly.
Here's some early porn.
What do you think of The Night Watchman? You know, that's
I know what
great.
I'm going to be doing after this podcast. Doing some Googling.
Oh, I thought you were going to do some art history.
Yeah.
Next up.
Next up. Now, look, this is just for you guys because I know you're into it. It's a quote. I am not remorseful. Nixium guru Keith Raniere complains to judge as he is ordered to pay $3.5 million to sex slave victims, including surgery costs to remove the brands of his initials.
I'm not remorseful. When did he say that though? Like that sounds like he didn't say the way they put it, you know?
Well, he's got 120 years. He may as well double down.
Yeah.
You know?
No apologies, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
what's the apology going to achieve? Nothing.
Judge, sorry, not sorry.
He said he told the judge that he's baffled, that he was baffled by the restitution order.
Right. Okay. Well, it's a lot of money, but
is that because all the chicks said they wanted to be branded? They all said, "Please brand me, master."
Oh,
they wanted it, didn't they?
Oh, Ricky sent me a video of this. I've seen on Twitter because Twitter is just you can just send hardcore pornography.
It was originally broadcast on the Mexican news.
You see, get this, Sheila. You literally see. They're all blurred out, but you see Sarah from Nixium laying down, like nude, with her hands up, and you see the brand being done, and you see Nikki Klein and the gang all around her nude, except the only person who's not nude is the doctor woman.
Oh, God.
And she's casually dressed too. Yeah, I mean, you expect her to be wearing the Dead Ringers outfit, you know, but she's not. It was shocking. It was truly shocking. So Keith, Keith needs to have a good look at himself. Is what I'm saying.
Gross. Keith Raniere is gross. Okay, now this one is just this is when Daily Mail likes to send their creepy little paps out into the community to find what they can find. And they found Tammin Sursok, who is an ex-Home and Away actor. And the line is, "What's going on here?" Tammin Sursok does bizarre hand gestures near her crotch during a break filming her new movie in Queensland.
That is an amazing, like an ambiguous charge. You imagine that. I could ruin someone's life. If I said, did you see Gary this morning? And they go, what are you doing? I said, he's just standing there doing bizarre gestures like around his crotch. And that would be the end of Gary.
Exactly. And I do suspect that Tammin is just talking to someone. Her hands have gone down momentarily. The grubby little DM orc has taken a photo, and then they've put on a Benny Hill spin. What's going on here?
Well, maybe it's a medical issue, maybe she's a bit itchy down there.
There's something in that for all of us.
So that, that's that. The last one I had for you. Now, this isn't really, it's not funny. It's just, I thought I should do something that reflects the week.
Okay.
And you guys have also touched on this before, I believe, in some of your chats. Amazon customers slam Jeff Bezos for tone-deaf victory lap, thanking them for paying for his $5.5 billion space dream after ignoring workers' demands, not paying tax for years, then giving $200 million to charity when his ex Mackenzie donated $5 billion in 2020 alone. So much in that headline.
No, but just saying, look, I'm just one of the boys, like he'd be like, yes, between breaks as a picker and packer, you had to piss in a bottle, but when I was in the space shuttle, I had to put like a weird contraption on my cock and pee into that. So you tell me we're not the same.
Yeah, that's right.
This guy is
it's not going to stop anyone from purchasing through Amazon, by the way.
No, it's not. And my husband, Glenn, he lived in the US a couple of years ago. And he said that Amazon is so off the chain in the US that if you're cooking and you need some mustard, you can actually order it and it'll be there no delivery fee within an hour. And
Jesus.
Right.
Someone's got to be paying for that somewhere.
There's a lot of meat going into the grinder to create those sausages.
I think his trip into space in that penis-shaped receptacle that he launched himself in.
That's all I approved of. I approved of the aggressive cock imagery of his space shuttle. He just has really told us, who's in charge. You know what I mean? He's just gone for war,
Is his shuttle made out of the bones of immigrant workers?
Oh.
I pretty much. I mean, it's certainly made out of their souls. I thought their crushed dreams and their souls shot into space for Jeff's big moment.
I think it was a big week in the news. My takeaway, the one that's really got me rattled, I think, I am going to watch my bizarre hand gestures in and around my crotch area.
Yeah. Be careful down there.
I will.
You never know who's watching.
I am going to fucking watch my step. Hello?
Sheila.
Sheila. Oh, I said mic's off. I can see her mic's off. Clowning. Sheila, have we got you?
Sorry, I'm so used to just sitting in the background. I'm sorry about that.
This is a spectacular beginning to this segment.
Well, I'm hoping you're going to edit that part out so I don't look like an absolute
No, we're keeping it. No, fuck it. No, it's good. I think it stays in.
You two are absolute pricks.
How are you, Sheila?
I'm good. I'm good, guys. I'm glad we're back into the amusing stuff after having to get my, cross pants on last week.
No, it was good. It got good reviews from the people I spoke to.
Oh, okay.
They like to see.
Thanks, Katie.
They like to see that you are multifaceted.
I think people like to see a bit of jousting every now and then.
Yep. All right. Give us the news. What's been happening?
All right. Well, I'll get straight into it, and just with a hotline, which
headline?
a hotline. Sorry, get
a
on the
hot take
hotline.
on a headline.
Yeah, hot take on a head. This is why I'm behind the scenes. Look, I'm going to get straight into the one that I sent you guys because the comment section is off the freaking chain. You know the one I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I think this is about one of our national treasures.
Yeah, well, New Zealand's national treasure, but yeah, it's about Russell Crowe and the headline. And this is the Daily Mail, just true to form. Russell Crowe looks very jolly as he begins shooting his star-studded thriller Poker Face at a sprawling beachside property on the New South Wales south coast. Now, boys, do you want to describe the photo that they've used, the unflattering photo that they've used of Rusty?
He's pregnant. He is with child.
It's a really unfortunate photo, and this is the Daily Mail just being assholes and using the word jolly to alert all their little hounds to get straight to the comment section.
I think they're being very generous there. And I say this as a man who I appreciate him as a performer and whatnot. He looks like a disgrace. He's in an. You know how Hollywood actors, like, part of their, but particularly the male actors, part of their sort of their I don't know, part of their adventure is sort of gaining and losing weight, like in that Christian Bale sort of way. And you'd sort of see Russ blow out, and you go, oh yeah, it's all right. He'll go in, Robin Hood next, and he'll lose it or whatever. And then it just seems like he's gotten stuck after one of these blowouts in a fat role.
He's in his late Elvis phase.
I keep waiting for the time when he's going to emerge, and I'm going to see his face again.
Well,
He's got a face like that guy, that bad guy in Dick Tracy, baby face.
Oh my God, that is so. That is out of order. That is bang out of order.
Too much?
Well, no, I mean, the thing is, I'm not bringing this up to fat shame Rusty. I'm bringing it up to.
All right, get to the comments then. Come on.
Okay, well, one person said, I did a hammy racing straight to the comments because they obviously know, like I do, that it's going to be a feeding frenzy. So
explain to our American listeners what a hammy is.
Oh, it's your hamstring muscle. So if you do a hammy, you've hurt your hamstring. I'll start off easy. Someone's just been quite, low key and said Russ is pregnant with Chris Hemsworth's baby. Someone else has said,
so fat shaming and gay shaming.
Yeah. When is the due date? Okay, so this one's inventive. It says he's no longer known as Gladiator, more like glad he ate her.
How did I fucking fall into that like a big manhole,
All right. So someone else has said COVID kilos have not been kind. Another person.
Oh, so much alliteration.
I know.
Say that again. COVID kilos have not been kind.
Yeah, COVID kilos not been kind.
It's a tongue twister.
That's great.
Another person has said, Jesus, I hope he's vaccinated.
Oh, because fat people die of COVID?
Apparently, yes. Okay,
Right.
so now we're getting into the more inventive stuff. You're going to like
it does get a bit more exotic as you go down the comments, doesn't it?
All right, well, wait, this one, you're going to have to think about this one, all right, because I didn't understand it at first, and it's blue. Russell has a pendulum gut. Once that pendulum starts swinging, any woman can be satisfied.
That is... I don't know. I'm sure it's disgusting, but it's obtuse.
I think it means that his gut, once it starts moving, is like a clit tickler.
Oh,
You know what I mean? I think it's what people call when your gut goes down a certain way. Some people call it a gunt.
Oh, I've heard this. That is one of the most reprehensible terms. All these people who walk around saying that the word they hate the most is moist. Fuck those people.
Yeah.
That word gunt is way worse.
Yeah, no, it's not a good word. Okay. I think one lady has written this, and she's quite clever because she's used all the terms that the Daily Mail uses for women when they're caught. It says, flaunting his curves, setting pulses racing, flashing his midriff.
Using all the gossip mag lingo.
It's what they usually use for the women. All right, now here, I know that you're going to like this, John Astro, because you're a Superman fan. Here we go.
Yes.
Kryptonians are like seahorses. It's the males who become pregnant, and Russ has got Kal-El in there.
that is great. That's such a creative slam. Like it's referencing his ludicrous role in Man of Steel. So good. That's great.
So I'll finish off with a couple. Okay, so someone's just been quite blatant and said solar eclipse in Kiama today.
Right. He's a fat prick is what they're saying.
Another person said, gonna be a lot of headshots.
Gonna be a lot of headshots.
in the
So
movie.
no full body shots.
No.
No wide shots.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. And another person said, "Oh, look at that vulnerable person. I hope he's vaccinated."
See, they're saying the same thing. There seems to be a lot of
concern for his health.
Yeah.
But they're also saying what you're not allowed to say, which is most people that have died in the US of COVID have been fat pricks.
Oh my God. Okay, can I just distance myself as a BBW from your usage of the word fat? I'm just distancing myself
Hey, Sheila,
from that.
Sheila, what did you think about last week's show when I revealed that Ricky had sent me a message saying, "Oh, we've got to talk about this fat zone."
Well, look, the thing is, I'm of two minds because I'm very much about free speech. And, once you start shutting it down and cancelling people, then, the fall of society happens. But, I don't agree with the way, with saying.
Well, hang on. That message was sent in confidence via an encrypted messaging platform.
It was actually. It was.
Yeah. You are Ricky, you are the editor. You could have just taken that out and said, "I refuse to let that go to air."
Hey,
you bastard.
We keep it 100 on this show.
No, stop. Okay, listen. I am merely a whistleblower. Okay, I blew the whistle.
You're Snowden.
You're a fucking stooge, is what you are.
I blew the whistle on the fat shaming culture that goes on behind the scenes on this show. Okay?
Well, luckily, once again, listeners, I don't produce this show.
Oh, yeah, as you keep saying so proudly. All right.
Oh, well, look, anyway, so I'm distancing myself from fat shaming because, I'm a BBW. I'm part of the community, but, you guys can say what you want.
Okay.
People can
Russell,
choose not to listen.
I will. Russell is a disgrace and he's just become an old fat prick.
Okay. Fucking hell. Okay. Well, then.
You said I could say what I want.
All right. Well, that's a wonderful segue into the next one. Now, I did send you guys this one as well. Now, I'll read out the headline. American comedian jokes Australians love lockdowns because they're lazy descendants of criminals who don't want to work, and restrictions aren't that bad because they just want to get hammered in their backyards.
True.
Now, I mean, that just sounds like a throwaway line to me. The man's a comedian. He's just having a laugh. I'm not even going to. Tim Dillon. Yeah, Tim Dillon. And I'm not even going to bother with the comments section here. Australia has really let me down in the Daily Mail. The Australians have gone so silly and so hard on this guy.
They did it on the video appeared on TikTok earlier in the week, and people were doing the same thing. And I was really disappointed to read, the comments.
It's quite, it is quite pathetic. It's like no one can take a joke anymore. I thought what he said was really funny, and quite frankly, what he's talking about sounds really good. We did get hammered in our backyards. I got hammered on the curb with my neighbours. Yeah. For most of lockdown. So
people just don't get Tim Dillon. That he's a dangerous comedian, and he's too hot for TV. Like I think he's really on the edge. You know what I mean? Like he's even more edgy than like Ryan Long. Ryan Long's more mainstream than Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon is a little bit more dangerous because he's got that Andy Kaufman quality. Like he goes around doing practical jokes and shit around New York. Like you just don't even know what's real and what's not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's great. And it was a joke. It's a line, and people getting their backs up about it is quite pathetic. And the comments section was a national shame.
Why have we got
Australians showed themselves. Yeah, I know. We handed out left, right, and centre, and you would think that we'd just be. And what he said didn't sound that bad.
No, but it's true.
It was just like, oh yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
I think that's why they're hot under the collar, is because it does have that element of truth to it. There are a lot of lazy pricks in Australia.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because of course, because it's a great place to live. We're complacent, and But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought the reaction was very silly.
Yep. Spot on.
Now I've got a contentious one for you. Now this I have tied into last week, where there was the incident about this fat fuck. So is that what you said? What did you say? This fat. No, fat. Actually, so you said fat.
No,
so.
I think what you said is great because for a second there I just thought, wait a minute, we didn't even say that. That's you saying that.
No, that's not. I was trying to do a quote. I'm not. I don't.
Yeah, but you've created original material, which means that it's kind of what you believe. Anyway, go on.
It's not what I believe. I'm a BBW. Shut up.
Go on.
Okay. Now this, I honestly, I don't know where I stand on this one. No, I do know where I stand. Sorry, that's. Can you erase that? Erase that, Ricky. I do know where I stand on this one. It is the headline is Team USA paintballer is labelled cruel and evil for mocking a fat shaming a teen who was hospitalised with COVID-19, insisting he doesn't need a vaccine, he needs a fucking treadmill. So this girl has lost her position on the US paintball team, and my husband Glenn, he's a mad paintballer, he loves it. He's a grown man, yes.
A grown-ass man.
He's a grown-ass man, but he loves paintball. And he weighed in on it and said they're not paid. Like, it's not a paid situation, but she has lost her position on the national team. Now, it's been everywhere, this story, but it's a weird story. Like, I just don't – there's come this – kind of the line has been drawn between people who keep themselves nice and trim like you boys and the sort of larger community, and there's this sort of faction within the trim community to be really scathing of the larger community, but hide behind a we're concerned for your health kind of veil, and it's really kind of just a mean girl's way of being vicious. And I think the weird thing about this is that, I mean, this it appears that this child, I mean, he's a child, is like practically on a ventilator. She's got a photo of him. Oh no, he's not on a ventilator. He's in hospital. He's really sick. And
how was this message delivered?
That's targeted him.
What was the medium?
On TikTok. It's on TikTok. So a woman was basically saying, my son's in hospital, blah, blah, blah.
Have they stitched it to the end of the video, I wonder? That's that. So stitching's when you, sorry to sound like.
Oh, no, I think, yes. Okay, I wasn't aware of stitching, but yes, that's
when
what
you post a reply on their video.
Yes. And that's what it is. And she said, ma'am, your son doesn't need a vaccine. He needs a fucking treadmill.
Well,
that's a bit harsh. That
is harsh. But also the way they've done it, like stitching is aggressive. Like, in the modern context, like if you've got to stand by 100% everything you say if you're going to stitch. Like it's different. Like if it was a private Facebook group or like that was reprinted, you'd have to say, oh well, come on, like or even to a lesser, if it was a tweet with no tags or something and you weren't adding the person or whatever, that might be even different. But here we're talking about this is pretty direct because TikTok as well. I'm sure that video would have blown the fuck up. Like these videos can blow up like millions of views in particularly anything that is high octane like that.
Yeah, it just sort of, I know sort of this kind of stuff started with a woman called, I think she's known on the internet, called Fit Mum, and she did this really contentious ad once, which was her showing off how trim and fabulous she is with 3 children in front of her, and she just said, "What's your excuse?"
Oh, okay. Well,
and people went mental about it, and I hate this woman. Like, I hate her so I irrationally hate her, and her arrogance.
Well, she's behaving like a heel, like that. That's like she's essentially like she's in the WWF, like that sort of. That's like going up to the crowd and going, yeah, boo,
Yeah.
like that's heel behavior,
And she was remorseless about it. And, she said, all of these people, what's your excuse? Look at me and how good I look. And it was really triggering. And I was triggered by it. I hated but it sort of evolved from there. That opened the floodgates. And now this is where we find ourselves is this girl thinking that it's okay because she's part of the trim community. I don't know what the opposite to BBW is. What the slim and trim community, the STCs, to go after a kid, and that's where we find ourselves. So we've started off with fit mum, and this is where we're finding ourselves now.
That person was repudiated, and it sounds like they lost status and position and things like that, didn't they? Based off this comment.
Jessica Mayolo, the paintballer, yes.
She lost her position on the team, is that right?
Yeah, the unpaid team. So
I don't know whether I'd agree with that. I think the public shaming is probably enough, right? I mean, we're not talking about the NBA here. We're not talking about an uber star. We're talking about someone who's probably good at the sport, but the sport's niche and just doesn't have a wide viewership.
Look, let's take if I may transgress some other taboos. This person is, dare I say, probably a dummy. You know what I mean?
You're putting two and two together, the post and the paintball.
No, but it's
you're calling her a ding dong.
Yeah, but she might be a dummy, and that's what we always take into like because you end up. And look, I am no brainiac, so let's get that out of the way for starters. But I'm just saying that, like, because we all read these fucking these fancy articles, you think that everyone out in the world is these intellectuals that we all read online, and then the people that make these comments are just, she's probably just some chick from Middle America, some out in the boondocks somewhere, and
way to offend our American audience. Thank you.
What are you talking about? I'm saying not all Americans.
We love Middle America. Okay, we love Middle America.
I go by my actions. We endlessly talk about America on this show. How could I not love America? So, but I'm just saying, don't you think that this chick is probably a dummy?
Yeah, look, I think she's shooting from the hip.
Right.
We all do silly stuff when we're young, but I think that it's a cultural thing that has allowed her to feel smug.
Right.
And she's a victim of look, she's certainly not a victim, but in this sort of stream, she's a victim of the algorithms that she's being shown, and she would be being shown, arrogant people like Fit Mum and all of those others in that realm who would be saying there is no excuse. There's no excuse to be fat. People don't have excuses. Just get them on a fucking treadmill. They're all that kind of thing. And it really has taken away, I think, empathy and grace. There is no grace in anything that these people harp on about. So
it's nasty. It's nasty and targeted.
It's nasty.
And and punching down.
It's a product of the times too. We're living in, with COVID and the culture wars, it is a fucking mad time as well. People are losing their brains.
Oh, they are, but also there's no, I don't know, for want of a better word, there's no gentleness in this time, and I think that's very indicative of where we are.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so moving on from that one, we've got. This is just a headline that I find funny. Melbourne's latest anti-lockdown protests attract an abysmal turnout as an army of police are greeted by a boisterous group of teenagers in tracksuits.
It's evocative. So the point
I wonder if they're Adidas or Kappa or what kind of trackies are they?
I've never worn more tracksuits in my life than I have during COVID lockdowns.
Do you think you're going to rock them after?
Well, I'm already taking my kid to fucking school in the morning wearing these things, I'm crossing the boundary already because I'm like, why am I putting jeans on to drop him off to only come home and take him off,
Yeah. Who are you trying to impress?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is what COVID's done to us.
Yeah.
So the point of that article is that the Melbourne lockdown protests are a fizzer, and only a bunch of like
little
by saying-
deros.
deros is what
little
they're saying.
eshays.
Yeah, the leshays.
Well,
Little
all the other teens are at home getting pissed in the backyard and getting their grill on.
Exactly. And
putting the
enjoying
barbecue on.
life. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
That's good.
I think we should be applauding these teens that had the
Get up and go.
motivation. They would get up and go to actually leave the house and voice their opinion.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know. I don't know if they were voicing opinions or they were sitting there with their plastic bags and chroming, but that's
Chroming. Some nangs. They had some nangs as well.
yeah, whether they're all just sitting around, near that cathedral in in the city.
Popular spot.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what? I've often thought I'm surprised that there's not more teens taken to the streets with lockdown, really, because they're the ones
why?
they're the ones that are missing out the most. They're missing out on school time. They're missing out on early university. They're missing out on the very social years that people have in their early 20s and late teens, and which they'll never get back. And they're the ones that are probably least going to be affected if they get the virus. I'm not advocating for them to riot in the streets, but I'm just saying that I'm surprised that more haven't sort of voiced their opinion.
Well, you're speaking like someone who had a good time in those years. They might be like me and it was just a fucking hellscape. And who, like, if this had happened when I was their age, I would have been stoked. I would have sat around watching, Frightmare and,
I knew you were going to say
Demons.
Frightmare. I just fucking knew it. I knew Frightmare was going to come up.
I would have just sat around watching The Dream Warrior, stuff like that, and had, eaten chips. So I don't know. You sound like you had a good time.
Well, I had a good time. Some had a better time, but
Ambiguous. Good stuff. Great. Well, is that's our news for this week, I think.
Yeah. I've got heaps of stuff, but that's my main. They're my main ones. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
No. That's just what I needed, Sheila. A little pick me up. I think my winner for today is probably Russell Crowe. I don't think I can go past that.
Was it the seahorse thing and Kal-El?
Yeah, delicious. Very good.
The what is it? They ate her comment.
Oh, glad he ate her.
Yeah, glad he ate her.
Yeah. Look, I think mine was the pendulum gut.
Oh, disgusting.
Because I didn't understand it, and then I had to go, oh, okay.
You had to do some Googling. You had to do some research.
It was introduced to the word gunt.
All right, well, we can't top that. That's it for the news this week. We'll see you next week, Sheila. Thank you.
If you enjoy what we do here on the New Flesh podcast, there are a number of ways you can contribute to the success of the show. Consider supporting us financially by becoming a Patreon member and donating monthly or yearly. Alternatively, you can donate money through the Buy Me a Coffee platform. If you're strapped for cash at this point in time, there are a number of other ways to support the New Flesh. You can give us a rating or review through Apple Podcasts. These help others to find our show and help spread the word. Or you can tell your friends about us. Don't underestimate the power of a podcast recommendation. And now, back to the show. All right, we're back with the news flash. Sheila, how are you?
Good, thanks, Ricky. How are you?
Great, thanks.
I need the news. I feel like, I feel uninformed.
Yeah, well, it's been a big week. Obviously, there's a lot of heavy stuff going on around the world. So I turned to the pages of solace, as I call them, or the Daily Mail. And one that jumped out at me, and this is particularly for you, John, because I know you love him and it's good to know that he's still around. Woman claims she is married to Michael Jackson's ghost and says the king of pop uses her body to sing, dance, and eat cookies, but refuses to be physically intimate with her.
Well, how's that any different from his other marriages?
She's too old for him. That's why.
Oh,
Wait a minute. So, where is this woman situated?
the US.
US.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I think I saw a picture of her. Is it fair to say she looked a bit homely, or
She's a nice. Was she? What
homely?
are you allowed? Are you allowed to say homely anymore? I don't.
Look,
I'm not sure.
How do you want me to? What's the other expression? Equestrian.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
So what are you saying, Astro? Are you saying she's a
No. She looked just very normal. Like
she's a fatso?
No, she wasn't a fatso.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
No. But I did look at her, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, because he was with Lisa Marie Presley.
Yes,
He was hot to
And
try.
then didn't he father all those children with the nanny? Is that
with Debbie Rowe.
Debbie Rowe? Was she a nanny or what was she?
She was a nurse at his vitiligo or vitiligo clinic.
And that makes a lot of sense, though, because he was on a lot of drugs. So it's good to have you need someone with a medical background, I think. Anyway, this woman is claiming that he is, back from the dead, and like, but wait, did she say he's singing through her?
Yes.
Well, what's her latest single?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at, though, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, clearly I love this story. All right,
Well,
what's next?
I just thought you might like this other one. She noted that the pop star doesn't like being touched and will scare her with spider visions and dead corpse visions if she tries to initiate physical romance.
I love that this is a bit like Thriller.
Yeah. Yeah.
The evil of the Thriller.
So anyway, that's that.
This is great. We should try get her on the pod. Maybe she'll sing on the pod for us.
Yeah, well, we can try. We'd need a few more followers, I think, before then.
Or would we? Like, I feel like she'd do anything.
Yeah, but Sheila's saying that not even this quack would go on this podcast.
Oh, that's a low blow.
Rich.
They might go on Side Boob, the one that I produce.
Piss off. Next story. Come on.
Okay, man burns down house after leaving a steak cooking in a toaster while he went to the shops to buy chips, then whinges about his insurance payout.
Why the judgment? Why the value judgment at the end there? It was factual, and then they had to throw in that little bit at the end about whinging,
That sounds like some Carl Pilkington shit there.
Yeah,
Doesn't he cook sausages in the toaster?
I vaguely remember that, yes. Okay, that guy's a clown.
That happened in New Zealand. I don't even
Right.
know what to do with that. All right, here we go. I like this one. Woke diners boycott Jack the Chipper chip shop for glorifying a serial killer. But its defiant owner insists he won't change the name because it's just a play on words.
So true, though. He's right. Jack the Chipper is right.
Yeah.
So, if anyone's out there and they're, needing to go to a chip shop, go to Jack the Chipper. Give this guy some support.
Where is Jack the Chipper? He's an Australian chip guy, or?
Where is he? Oh, he's in Greenwich in southeast London. So anyone in the UK, go and support this guy.
Well,
and
what
tell
the fuck, man?
Wokesters
Like, he's based in London. He's got a nice play on words there. Like, the serial killer was from London originally. And how long ago was this? Like, Jack the Ripper?
100 or so years ago.
Like, fucking get over it.
I think if the
you would say
Wokesters are letting, well, no, seriously, if the Wokesters are letting the walking tours of London's, horrors continue, I think they can leave Jack the Chipper alone. So I'm a bit intolerant of Wokesters this week just because of everything that's gone down this week. I don't have any tolerance for it. So sorry.
Normally you're up for them banning Jack the Chipper.
Well, no, normally I try to respect everyone's views a bit. but not this week. I don't have it in me.
But this is the sort of thing that these are the stories that everyone hates. So these are the stories that, like, when you hear that someone wants to ban. Well, firstly, who are these people? Do you know what I mean? We all talk about these people, about how they want to ban this crap or whatever. And like, I think we need to be more specific, because I think the response to anyone who wants to do what these people want to do should just be, "Oh, shut up."
Yeah.
You know, just shut up. You know, like, what are you talking about? It's the man. He's a chip shop guy. Just shut up. Leave him alone.
They're such sticklers, you know. They want to take all the fun out of life, don't they?
And if you can't see the humor, like the thing is that, like, they're such naive idiots, because it's gallows humor. Do you know what I mean? Like, one of the ways we cope with awful things, like, you know, serial killer misogynists, is by making a joke of it. You know, that's one of the ways we sort of, as humans, deal with it. And like, it's this sort of false, I don't know, this fake woke thing of, like, you know, oh, geez, it's so offensive. Offensive? What are you talking about? Just give me a chip buddy.
Implying that this chip guy is a horrible person who loves serial killers and maybe a serial killer himself.
Yes.
He just wants to make fish and chips.
Like, if the menu was, like, you know, Patrick Bateman style, like, stuff, like, about what you could order, you know, like I don't know. I don't even want to say what
chainsaw chip butty,
or whatever. Like, if it was just getting really specific to the point where you go, okay, it's not really funny anymore. You're kind of you're a bit gross. You know, that'd be different. Anyway, he's getting me steamed. We've got to move on.
It is. All I can think of in response to this is Terence Stamp in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, saying, "Why don't you light your tampon and blow your box apart?" You know, like, that's all I want to say to these people.
Absolutely. They do need to blow their box apart.
Okay, so the next one is conspiracy theorist 41, I don't know why they had to give his name, caused up to £150,000 damage when he set 5G phone mast ablaze after making a bunker in his kitchen using pans and covering himself in tin foil.
Tin foil. Come on.
That really happened.
Well,
I don't know.
It's in the
Daily
news, isn't
Mail,
it?
but Daily, honestly, things were thin on the ground, and I was like, what am I going to do? And then I was like, hang on, I haven't even clicked on their UK section, and that is where the most ludicrous stories come.
Sort of no holds barred.
Oh
stuff.
My God! And then it was like, there was an abundance.
That sounds like a text version of, like, a political newspaper cartoon, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you could see that as a cartoon, a guy hiding under tin foil to make a point about conspiracy theory guys, but they've just, like, put it into text.
Yeah. So basically, this guy's living his best cartoon dreams. He's made himself into a living parody.
So is this a COVID thing? This is like vaccines and 5G and
it's 5G, and I still don't understand the whole 5G thing about what they think it's going to do.
If he's experienced the convenient speeds of 5G, I think he'd change his mind.
I need some 5G. We need some 5G here in Australia. Our internet sucks.
I had 5G in my previous suburb in Melbourne, and then and in Sydney we don't have it anyway. So it was amazing. I was like, oh, geez, this is like, sometimes I used my phone instead. So there's a little bit of insight there for you.
Yeah, well, that's him. That's the UK. Moving on. All right, I like this one. Now, I'll even give you some of the examples. People reveal the petty things they do just to annoy others to get on their nerves, including a wife who swaps her husband's coffee beans for decaf and a woman who vacuums while her hungover boyfriend is asleep. So people got on here. They wanted to know what people were doing to annoy others. And I mean, there was so much involved in a lot of this stuff. Like, there's a woman whose mother-in-law came from a very wealthy family, and she saw herself as a cut above the rest. So this woman deliberately, every time the mother-in-law came around, chopped carrots in circles rather than in sticks, because fancy people see sticks as see circle cut carrots as lower class.
Do they?
Well, we've revealed ourselves as being convicts who who like a circle carrot. What's wrong with a circle carrot?
Another one, a lady, just whenever she sees her husband's phone on charge, turns the charger off.
That's dreadful. That's a dreadful thing to do.
Why would you do that to your partner?
This is a great one. Now, this is from someone who calls themselves Wolf Fleece Spotter. A few jobs back, my old boss was vile. If I had an excuse to go into his office, I'd make a point of twisting the phone cord around so when he picked up the phone, the cable was very short and he would have to speak to the person with his head on the desk whilst untangling it.
Get another job.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Dreadful stuff.
Someone has said they had a tiny gadget that beeps and chirps at random intervals. Its sole purpose is to annoy people, and the sound is short and sharp and irregular, so the gadget is difficult to locate. And when her husband is annoying her, she turns it on and hides it somewhere. She's been doing it for 10 years and he's never found it. He was particularly puzzled when they moved and the chirp came with them.
That's lovely. Well, I could complain about that, but to be honest, that sort of describes some of the behaviour I do to Katie. Like, I am kind of that machine sometimes.
That's like her life's work, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that's amazing. What's the payoff though? That one day when he finds out, like, it's just going to be divorce.
Well, no, he could murder her. I mean, that's what I'd be frightened of. When you keep something going, when you keep a level of agitation going that long, it could end very, very badly. I think that woman's playing
No, but
fire.
if he doesn't jack the chip at her, then the alternative is that I don't know, he'll laugh so hard he'll die of a heart attack.
Yeah, no, that's the flip side. Yeah,
like he'll go, like, because either way there's suffering coming. Like, he'll go, that joke, like, that joke was so amazing, he'll go, and his heart will explode because there was too many setups.
There was another one here that says, I bought a huge light shade so my ex would bump his head every time he visited to pick up the children.
Oh, God.
Look, I mean, I can sympathise because my kids have a small lifelike spider toy that looks genuine, and Glenn, my husband, hates spiders, and I can't help myself. I put that spider in all kinds of places in his office. Whenever I find it, I just put it on his keyboard, on his computer and stuff like that.
You should put it in the breakfast cereal.
Whenever I find it, I have rescued it from the bin. So, I understand.
Now, this topic reminds me, back in the bad old days of free to air, when I used to dabble in that, I used to watch the Today Show sometimes in the morning, and they had this same topic, all right, about things you do to annoy your partner. And one guy texted in, or he wrote in, and you won't believe this one. This is what he used to do to his wife. He used to take his toenail clippings,
he
used to put them in his mouth just before he kissed his wife.
Oh, come on. See, Wokesters would have that guy in jail. Wokesters.
I don't know how are they still married? Probably not. I don't know. But how could you do that more than once, That's
the kind of thing that I would expect to happen to me in prison by my big girlfriend if I'd done the wrong thing, Like, that's not a thing that happens when you're out in the community just freely dating someone.
When you say your big girlfriend, do you mean your prison abuser?
Wentworth
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not. It's the behaviour of some bully and criminal. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not the
that's
behaviour of
nothing to
someone.
do with me being with women. I've been with loads of women.
Oh, no one asked, mate. No one asked.
Yeah, but I'm telling you because that's what people have to do now. You've got to tell people. And the thing is, I want to know where I fit in because
you've got to say queer.
Before there were labels for anything, I would nail anyone, like I was like the United Nations.
You don't count. You've got to say you're
lovers.
No, you've got to say I'm queer.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to say. You just got to say
that covers everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I've covered everything, but I've now, I just feel like now I have to tell everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you've met the moment.
Am I cool now?
Yeah. In fact, I was thinking of giving you a column at the New York Times.
No, I don't think it would count because I did, that was all before it became cool.
Yes, no.
Where you just went up, like you had sex with whoever you wanted, but
you didn't make
really,
a big deal about it.
No, you just sort of went to your job the next day and just did your work. Like that's what I did. I'd go off, nail dudes, nail chicks, and then I'd go to my job the next day and just get on with my life.
Well, that's where you're wrong. No. You need to endlessly talk about it. Ad nauseum, and especially when people don't ask, that's when you need to just talk about it. And you've got to get across you got to make up weird, creepy definitions, and then that you made up, and then get people to stick to exactly what you said. Okay,
like
so
what? I'm the grandmaster of doodles and fannies, or like what do you mean?
Like phrasexual.
What?
You're phrasexual.
Is that a made up one or is that a real one? I don't even know.
Some say made up, some say real.
Depends where you sit.
Do you know what? Well, obviously I'm married and suburban these days, but you know what? I'm going to give myself a label for those days. I was fun sexual. That's what I was. I was fun sexual.
Okay.
So shove off, Wokesters. I fucking hate you this week. I really fucking hate you.
Oh, no. They've derailed the news. What's happened? What happened to the news?
I'm just off my head this week. I really am. And I'm sorry. Sorry, listeners, but Wokesters can fuck off. I'll get back on board with you all this week, but you've pushed me too far. Like, let people be old. I'm old. Let us be old for 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah, the way Donald Sterling was old, and when he was telling his girlfriend.
I was going to say Donald Trump. I was going to say, you can't know.
No, he was younger. Donald Sterling he's old, and years ago, he just was telling his girlfriend, like, that he didn't want her, like, posting about, going to the club with Magic Johnson.
Oh, no, you can't. No, not that kind of stuff. I just mean like stuff like Jack the Chipper, like.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's been really hard graft this week.
Well, no, that Jack the Chipper, we can put a bow on that by saying that the problem there is always class thing, like the wokes are generally elites, they're educated elites on the coasts or somewhere nice, and what they don't like is the working class, and they don't like people who are fairly at all rough around the edges or just plain speaking or whatever. I mean, they've got an aversion to all of that. So yeah, that's why they don't like Jack the Chipper.
Get off his ass, Wokesters.
Yep.
All right, guys. Sorry to bring you down, but seriously, this week has been tough.
All right. Well, I think everyone needs to send in some happy things. Sheila X at the New Flesh Podcast, and we'll buoy her up for next week, eh? Here we are again with the news. Sheila, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, well, I can't complain, can you? Or can you?
No.
You probably can.
It's never stopped you
before.
Lockdown's
not great. But then again, we're all in lockdown, so I can't.
We're all in lockdown.
All right. Anyway, we've come here to hear the news. Let's go. I hope you're going to start strong. Come on.
Okay. Now, look, I've tried to feed into a lot of the things that get you guys riled this week. So here we go. Daily Mail, as usual. Fury as health bosses erase the word women from official COVID vaccine guide using the inclusive phrase pregnant people instead.
Of course they did. Of course they did. Well, at least it wasn't Winnickson.
Yeah,
which is always a bit.
Isn't it interesting? They never take out any reference to men. It's only ever women. You notice this? You know?
Well, look, I know this sounds strange, but I'm a woman and I've had children. And I'm not offended by this. It's one of the ones that doesn't bother me. I don't mind. I don't feel like we've got complete ownership over. This one does not bother me.
What about because people take this further? What about chest feeders and uterus havers?
Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me.
People who get periods.
That's okay, because the thing is, if I was trans and I was born a woman, but I believed that I had been a man the whole time. But I could still carry a baby and chest feed that baby. I guess the things that reminded me of being a woman, like breasts, would remind me of being a woman, and I wouldn't like that. So no, it doesn't bother me. Chest feeding doesn't bother me. It's chests. It's okay. I'm all right with all of that as a woman.
Okay.
I'm okay with all of that, but I just thought I'd throw it out there for anyone who was interested. Next up.
Has there been backlash to this, I wonder? I guess you haven't gone that deep on the issue, but
yeah,
I'm sure there'll be backlash to this. Okay.
Yes, there has been backlash. So next up, we've got, and this is the headline, it says, "Pluck of the Irish. Notre Dame bites back after its leprechaun mascot is deemed one of the most offensive in college sports."
Really?
Yes.
Is it though?
I don't know. Don't Irish people love a good leprechaun?
Look, I've sort of scanned through this one, and I'm not sure.
But wait, let me get it. I need to get straight. So wait, presumably this is in Ireland.
No, it's in America at Notre Dame College. Yeah,
right. So I missed that.
They have a fighting leprechaun as their college mascot.
Well, the Irish do like a good bar fight, don't they?
They call it the Fighting Irish.
Yes. But Notre Dame has doubled down on this one and said they're very proud of their Irish history, and this is not a problem.
Yeah. Good counter.
So, yep, they're not having it. So
Good.
That's out there.
Well, I can tell you because I know. I have an Irish person in my extended family, and he believes in fairies. He's one of these Irish. A lot of Irish people, if you probably don't know this, but they actually believe in fairies. And there's a famous highway in Ireland that was diverted around a set of bushes because fairies live there. So they love mythical creatures like this. So
it's important to their culture.
It is.
The leprechauns and fairies are important to their culture. And these critics, these racist critics, just need to check themselves.
Okay.
They do.
All right.
Yep, there we go. That's your opinions on that. Now, I think you're going to enjoy this because I'm toying with the idea of making a YouTube channel called Americans Losing Their Minds in the air, on airlines. This one, it takes the cake. Woman is booted off Spirit Airlines plane after lighting a cigarette and blowing smoke in passengers' faces amid dramatic spike in out-of-control passengers this year.
That is mad, though. That that is absolutely pathological. Like, you know, she knew what was going to happen.
That is exciting. That is exciting stuff.
Is she trapped in the 1950s? You know, like is she?
80s, don't you mean?
Well, it's Mad Men time, right? Where you could smoke on planes, you could fucking smoke anywhere.
It wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago, really.
True. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So I guess you could still do that in the 70s and 80s, couldn't you? That's an aggressive move, blowing in someone's face.
It is. That is balls
I've seen
out
lots of
exciting.
videos lately. You must have seen the video of that guy who went crazy and then everyone duct taped him to the chair.
Yep.
That's the second time people have done that duct tape maneuver.
That's great.
I've seen that one before. So it sounds like that must be standard ops. Like, so if you exhibit a certain level of belligerence, then out comes the duct tape in the most humiliating way. Like they you know, and the tape fell down and then the guy came over and like reaffixed it, you know, and was like,
wow.
And
I want to duct tape someone to a chair. Sounds like fun.
Exactly. And every jacked, you know, roided up dude on the flight, they're looking for that. Like they're just looking for that. So their wishes are coming true. They're getting to, you know, beat the crap out of someone and then duct tape them to a seat.
Yeah, no, it was good.
I once flew from Australia to Singapore on a larger trip, but I remember this guy sitting close to me, this muscly dude. He spent the entire flight trying to tune this flight attendant that he found quite attractive, trying to pick her up so that when they landed, presumably they could get it on. So, you know, maybe the duct tape should be at the air hostess's flight attendant's discretion, you know.
The most exciting part about that story was you reintroducing the word tune into the lexicon.
I call it that. I was like, tune, yeah.
So if for anyone overseas, back in the 90s, tuning meant getting it on with someone, giving them a tune-up.
It's getting them primed. It's, you know, it's
but I don't think it's been used since Ricky got with his wife.
yeah, probably.
I think that was the last time you were tuning her to become your wife.
Yeah,
and then it went out. It's gone. You know,
now
now they don't tune. They don't tune now. They just go DTF.
Yeah,
they say, "Will
DTF.
you sign my consent form app on my phone here?"
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you have nudes?
Yeah, nudes.
Send nudes.
Nudes. And then but the O and the O are 2 zeros, you know. Nudes.
Yeah. I thought it was NEWDS.
Nudes.
Nudes. Okay, I've got another one for you. This is just weird. I don't know. Tony Hawk releases limited $500 skateboard with his blood infused into paint, and it sells out within 20 minutes. I'm just that whenever I do that voice, that's for the capital letters. Yes. That's the capital letters that Daily Mail likes to throw in there. So I don't know about this one.
He's still alive, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still alive. So this as soon as he dies, these skateboards are going to skyrocket in price. So I think it's a good investment. These people, they know where it's at.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you love Tony Hawk that much, you would want everything. You want his sweat, his blood, you know, whatever. You want it close to you. Oh, you Ollie.
Wow.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay, Tony. But it shows him like with an IV in his arm, presumably.
Really?
They were.
Oh wow! They're showing you.
Yeah, they were harvesting Tony. I don't know. It's a bit.
Wow.
Will it make you a better skateboarder though?
I don't think so at this juncture.
So there was no health claims made. It was just, you know, have some of Tony Hawk's blood.
No, yeah, it's not going to make you immune to COVID while on your skateboard.
I hope it raises the level of skateboarding around the world, because I tell you what, I never see any good skateboarders around. They spend all day trying to make one trick and get it on camera. You know, I swear all the great tricks and compilations on YouTube are from guys that have spent all day trying to land that trick. And then because it's all cut together, you go, wow, these guys are so good, like all these tricks they're doing, but
they're not good.
They're not very good.
They were good once.
They were good once. They did the trick once and they got it on camera and then they could never do it again.
Take that, skaters.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Now, this one is, I've included this just because of the pot shot that the Daily Mail takes at the end of it. Taliban vow to tackle climate change. Okay. Then it says terror group sets out its eco credentials. Now, in brackets next to it, here's where they get snarky. Presumably by taking Afghanistan back to the Middle Ages.
That's good. That's true, though.
It is true.
They're not a progressive leadership group. You know, they're not good. They're no good. We've managed to avoid talking about Afghanistan until this very moment.
It's so upsetting. The whole thing's so upsetting.
Are they still going to use mobile phones to recruit people though?
I have no
social
idea.
media.
This is
Well, anyway, I hope their green platform, the Green New Deal that the Taliban is putting forward is all it's cracked up to be.
It's just the start of the Great Reset.
Yeah, I don't think the Great Reset's going to touch the Taliban. You know, they've got a different ethos, I think.
A reset of a different kind.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, next up we have, could these children's books be next on the woke watch list? As The Tiger Who Came to Tea is slammed for reinforcing gender stereotypes, how Peter Rabbit, Zog and the Very Hungry Caterpillar have come under fire from sensitive readers.
Fair enough. Ban them all, I say.
So
get rid of all of kids' books, I say.
Yeah, get rid of them.
What do we need them for?
What do we need them for? Like, I mean, Peter Rabbit, what is he, a cisgendered pig?
No. The criticism of Peter Rabbit is that him and Flopsy and Mopsy and Cottontail are too posh and don't relate to everybody. They're a bit middle class, and they're out of touch. Because they wear cropped blazers, capes. Okay.
When has the left ever cared about the working class?
Long time ago.
They did a long time ago, but not anymore.
That's a fascinating critique that they've offered there, and I'm actually, I mildly support them. I'm like, oh well, look, fair enough. At least it's class based and not melanin based or winky or not winky based.
Yep. Well, okay. One thing that is winky based is the Very Hungry Caterpillar, and it's problematic because he's referred to as he, even though he is non-gendered. I don't understand this one.
Is he? I don't know enough about caterpillars, to be honest. Isn't the character a man in the story?
I always assumed he was a dude, and as a woman, once again, it's never bothered me. But maybe that's not a me thing.
So you don't say herstory?
I don't say what?
People say history.
Oh, history. Look, no, I don't. That's the first time I've heard that one.
Would you say amen, a women?
No. I mean, it's just, I just don't care about stuff like that. I mean,
You'll go through the motions.
No, I'm a feminist, and I try to use inclusive language as much as I possibly can, but herstory, come on now, come on. I think we just sort of need to move on from this point. Like instead of a manhole, I say a person hole, and firemen, I say fire people and stuff like, or firefighters.
But is the point of the Hungry Caterpillar that he's a man? Isn't the point is that he eats too much?
That is that I thought that was the I thought that was the point. That's also the problem with the Gruffalo as well. Is that he's a he, I think.
I love that. That's the problem. He's a he. Like that's the problem.
Well, with the hungry caterpillar, I think it's just homosexual indoctrination, isn't it? Like hungry caterpillar, just goes along eating all these lots of dicks, lots of sausages, turns into a beautiful butterfly, goes out to Mardi Gras.
That's an interesting reading you've got.
Ricky, you are playing with fire today. Now, look, the only one that I'm going to agree with. Oh, hang on, they've got a problem with where the wild things are because the only time you hear about his mum is when she's in the kitchen. But
right. She's not a girl boss.
No, well, I mean, she's. No offense, but she's just his mum. It's the kid who's off on the adventure. But whatever, dudes. I do agree with this one coming up, though. They have a big problem with Sleeping Beauty. I do agree that you shouldn't be kissing unconscious women.
Just let her die.
I think, it's not about her dying. And she wasn't dying. She was in suspended animation.
Okay, we'll just keep it.
Oh, wait, isn't the kiss what wakes her up?
Yeah, but you shouldn't. There has to be
Well, he's got to shake her first.
If that's the magic, there has to be another kind of magic. You can't kiss sleeping ladies because the next thing it's some dude in an alleyway on top of a drunk bird going, oh, I'm just doing a bit of Sleeping Beauty. Oh, come on now,
but that's the thing, like
you know what I mean, like I can't get behind that one. It's
I went to uni with a guy who kissed a woman who was asleep and it didn't go well.
Yeah, well, exactly.
It was at a party.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't go well.
So, that's the one I can honestly get behind and say, look, maybe we need to cancel Sleeping Beauty because it's a bit shit. Like the whole thing's a bit shit. There's nothing good about this story, we could do without it. But everything else, I mean, it all seems okay to me. But whatever, I'm just old and tired now. Maybe I'm not raging the way I should. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Who would have thought Sleeping Beauty could become so rock and roll?
Absolutely.
It's now punk. Like Dr. Seuss, Sleeping Beauty. It's also punk, Like they just don't. These people don't give a fuck. Enid Blyton, she's all about Fanny and Dick.
Peter Rabbit, they're all about waistcoats and pocket watches.
Yeah, they're little eaten rabbits. Eaton as in ETON.
Hey, this is a very intelligent audience on the Thursday show. Okay. Yeah, they would know what Eton is, all right?
I didn't doubt. I was doing it for you guys. I didn't doubt the audience. For you,
so you're looking down on us.
Yep,
that's all right then.
All right, I got one last one before I go. I wanted to cross this when it happened, so I don't really know what it's about, but maybe you guys do. CNN's sense of humour failure. Jim Acosta slams prospective California governor Larry Elder, who joked that Trump helped obese women to lose weight because they got off the couch to march against him.
Brilliant. I love Larry Elder. Amazing. I love Larry Elder. I think Jim Acosta's a clown. This story's great. Everything's great.
This is slightly outrageous.
Well, Larry Elder he will likely nail that the present governor Newsom.
Right.
Soon. Yeah. So there's been a huge campaign to try and get Larry Elder kicked off the ticket, and the LA Times called him the black face of white supremacy. So,
shivers.
Which is, despite its pithy title, is a hit piece of the highest order. So anyway, there you go.
Yeah,
I get it. Love it. Love the joke. Love it.
Yeah, and again, it's a joke. Whereas calling him
it is a
calling
joke.
him the black face of white supremacy, that is no joke.
No.
Right.
No. Well, in Australia, that would be libel. I think. I don't think you can get away with saying that sort of thing. In America,
we seem to have quite strict laws about, what you can, what you can and can't say.
Well, Andrew Bolt, it said like that was an opinion piece pretty much that said that thing about Larry Elder, and Andrew Bolt said something, incendiary in an opinion piece a couple of years ago, and he was dragged through the courts. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
that's how it goes. You've got to prove the things you say. You can't just say mad
You
shit.
can't just say Sadiq Khan is a stone cold loser, like
True
Trump
as it may
said.
be.
Like that's what he said, wasn't it? Sadiq Khan is a stone cold loser.
My favourite quote.
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with his skin color, though. So
No, he's just a loser.
he's yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, guys, that is what I have got for
Great
you
stuff.
this week.
Great stuff. Politically charged. I love it. Thank you.
I feel sweaty. Okay.
All right, thanks,
See
Sheila.
you. Bye.
Go take a shower.
Here we are again for the news. Sheila, how are you?
I'm really well for a woman trapped in her home with her husband and 2 children.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's a lot. isn't it?
How do you find solace?
Well, I come here into the walk-in robe and sit down and record news bits for you guys. That's how I find solace.
Yeah, well, that's a getaway of sorts, isn't it?
My husband thinks I'm doing it 5 days a week, not just the once. So,
There we go.
zing.
We won't let on.
So,
All right.
what do we got? What's
All
been
right.
happening in the world?
Well, there wasn't much until sort of the last 24 hours. I was getting very desperate. I was like, oh, God. But luckily, some mad shit came up overnight. All right. Mormon mother-to-be, 23, insists she has a happy and normal marriage despite her husband admitting he's gay 3 weeks after they started dating.
How does that work?
No, but isn't that the triumph of isn't that sort of
Conversion therapy.
Well, no, she's the optimist. She's saying like, I can, I'm going to turn that frown upside down. He's not gay at all.
Well, Nicholas has chosen to put aside his sexuality in order to stay committed to the church. So
That's
there you go.
beautiful. That's beautiful. That's love. That's love. I mean, it's unlikely that he'll be able to, curb the urges completely. But, that's good. Mormons, wait, I'm just trying to think because there's so much mad shit in Mormonism.
Mm.
Oh, yes. No, it's the very straight-laced one, isn't it?
I think so.
They're allowed multiple wives, though.
Oh, I love it. I love it when it's like we're really straight-laced, but you're allowed to be a legal pussy hound.
Yeah.
Like
a God-sanctioned pussy hound.
Only a guy would come up with this religion, by the way. No, like, you know what I mean? Like that's like it's. Well, I think dudes have come up with all of them.
They do have like magic underwear too, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, they've got some special underwear that's supposed to give them some sort of powers. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I think that is a thing.
Okay, that's the Mormons. What's next?
Yeah, that's them. Okay. I don't know why I like this one so much. Woman 28 rides a golf cart into police during an armed standoff in Florida while completely naked. Now, what I need to tell you guys about this one is that she wasn't involved in the standoff.
She saw that bat signal go off and she's like, right, it's go time.
I wasn't ready for that surprise that she wasn't, because I immediately pictured it, right? And I was like, oh yeah, a lot of mad shit happens in standoffs. But then you're like, no, she had nothing to do with it. And you go, oh, wow.
She was just a nude bird in a golf cart, drunk, and saw a standoff and plowed into the police. And she's being charged because she put the officers at risk of getting shot by the armed suspect.
What is the Daily Mail's obsession with women's ages?
Oh, they love it. They do love it.
Woman 28. You know, why do they love it so much?
Well,
'Cause you
doesn't
go,
it,
"Oh, yeah."
doesn't it change the story a bit if it was like woman 68
Yeah.
or woman 88?
Yeah.
I think they want you to know that she was still
Fit-
young and
fit.
fertile.
And hot.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. You go, oh yeah. Like you go, yeah, I can picture that. Like they are really trying. I think they must have. They're sort of the geniuses of the algorithm, aren't they? They know how it works. They're like, woman 28. You go, oh yeah, got it. And then naked golf cart. You, yep. Florida, it's hot, sweaty. Yep, get it, got it, good.
Click.
Yeah, yeah, click, and then an ad for Alibaba, and you go, oh, damn it, they got me again. Pop up. Oh shit.
So that's Florida news for you.
That's good.
Okay, I've got another one. Want to keep your marriage alive?
I do.
Never let your man see you without makeup. That's what cosmetics guru Charlotte Tilbury says is the secret to a successful marriage. And here she reveals the formula that helped her build a £1 billion business. I just want to say on behalf of all women, fuck you, Charlotte Tilbury, you stooging bitch.
Well, this is bullshit because I think guys don't really care that much, you know, and I think women like that are the problem in terms of beauty standards, not the men. You know, I'm sure it'd be a rare occasion for a man to desire his wife to wear makeup like constantly, you know.
Yeah, no, it's mad. Like who well, actually, there is a certain kind of guy out there who I mean, they're pig men. They're the guys who say shit like, yeah, oh, you got to wear makeup, or like, oh, you're getting fat, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, maybe they're the kind of guys that love bolted on fake titties.
Yeah, that's right. They love it. They love it. And they're like, yeah, just
the harder the better, you know.
Yes. No, it's that sort of dude, you know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, you know, and you know, I mean, Sheila, do you know about these kind of misogynists or
What, men who want you to wear makeup all the time?
Yeah.
No, I have come across men who will say, "Oh no, you're beautiful as you are," but then when you start dating them properly and you take your makeup off, then they break up with you.
They voted with their feet.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. So I think, you know, they've towed the public line, but really they would prefer that you care.
Well, I think that like this is not you, but I'm just saying that like no, but I'm just saying that if you know, if you do go out with someone and then like gets serious and then you cross the line and then it turns out that they've been applying Jim Henson workshop makeup and they take it all off and you say, oh my God, then you should be allowed to leave. You know?
Look, I mean, I guess, but you know, I've had it in workplaces where if I have had days where I haven't worn makeup, the men in the office have gone, oh man, you okay? You look really unwell, eh?
Oh no. Well, that's
and
terrible.
it's like, I'm not unwell. I'm perfectly fine. I'm so fine. I didn't even put my makeup on this morning. And you say that I look like I'm in the final stages of something.
And they just get to look like pigs though forever. Like they just get to, I can bet that some of these men, you know, weren't oil paintings and, you know, put together.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, as a counterpoint to this, I know that there is quite a popular subreddit that's got hundreds of thousands of people that subscribe to this subreddit, and it's porn stars without makeup.
Okay.
So there are guys out there that do like a more natural look.
Well, but isn't that but that's been folded into makeup because isn't the best makeup the natural look? You know?
I guess so.
Haven't you seen that when people go like you've seen a video where they apply the natural look and it's like it takes just as long.
Takes longer.
And you go, oh my God. Okay. So there's so many it's lies upon lies upon lies.
That's right.
You know?
I'm a fan of a more theatrical look myself.
Geisha.
Yeah.
or like the Mikado.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say brow drama, but the next level is the ultimate level is geisha.
Yeah. Pretty much. All right, boys, let's move on. Here we go. Arizona father and his two pals are arrested for confronting elementary school principal with zip ties after she ordered his son to quarantine after he was exposed to someone with COVID. Now, I don't know about you, but I do know that, we've all watched enough movies where women get tied up with zip ties and it never ends well. So, what was this dad who was affronted by his son being told to isolate, turning up with zip ties? I mean, fuck this guy.
No, this is one of those ones I need explained again. So, because I got lost when I heard zip ties, my brain whited out.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. You want me to do the headline again?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Arizona father and his two pals are arrested for confronting elementary school principal with zip ties after she ordered his son to quarantine after he was exposed to someone with COVID. Now, I just want to clarify, everybody, this is the Daily Mail's headline and it does not contain one comma or full stop.
Okay.
Did he actually apply those zip ties?
Well, the thing is, my husband Glenn clarified this for me, and because of what zip ties are predominantly used for, they are seen as basically carrying a deadly weapon.
Yeah, well, one of the January 6th insurrectionists had them. The zip tie, because you know how there's the famous characters. There's the Q shaman. He's the
guy with the horn.
Yeah, the horn guy. then there's like the Pelosi selfie guy. So he's the guy who was in the office with the feet on the desk. He was
rubbing his dick on everything, wasn't he?
And one of the more scary guys who was in the place was a zip tie guy. He had like sort of tactical gear on these zip ties, and you're sort of a bit like, yeah, he came to play. You know what I mean?
Or he's an IT expert and he just wants to tidy up some of those cables behind the desk.
Yeah, he looked pretty serious though.
Well,
okay.
Look, no mercy for this bloody dude. Honestly, you're up to no good. So screw that guy.
Yep.
Okay, now this is blown up overnight, and it's a shame that I can't show the video. So it's the moment they're calling him a religious man because he spoke about God a few times. Moment religious man tells teens at the beach that their bikini-clad bodies are, now this is in capitals, pornography, before insisting that they cover up, saying he felt a righteous anger when he saw them.
Where was this?
This is in Colorado at Fort Collins. Now, this gentleman, I've seen the video. It's appalling. This man, oh my God.
I've got the setup. So these women are sunbathing.
Yeah, they're just in bathers.
Living their lives.
As we living their lives, minding their own business. A man storms up to them and starts lecturing them about, Logan refused to apologize and said he felt a boldness by the Holy Spirit just to go and confront these ladies and speak to truth.
There's so much innuendo here. He's got a bold feeling. He's got a righteous boner.
He does.
That's what he's got. That's what he's got. He's like Carrie's mom. Why is it always these fanatics who are always the most hot under the collar about sex? They always want to describe it in great detail. They're like, oh, it's disgusting. I hate it. Oh God, look at that. Look at that woman. Oh, disgusting.
Okay, well, I'll give you some of the little hotlines after. Logan accused them of wearing thongs and bras and admonished them to consider children who could see them. The young women, who didn't know Logan, repeatedly asked him to go away and leave them alone, but he continued to harass them. He said, men of God must stand up because society is going to go down the drain because there's no morality.
Yes, but they should take it in their stride because it's clear. I haven't seen the pictures, but it's clear they were hot because they got him hot. Like, if they were dogs.
Oh, they were spunky little girls.
Yeah,
young ladies. ladies. They were
Like,
spunky young ladies.
If they were dogs, he wouldn't say anything. He'd go, just keep moving, you know?
How dare they give him a chubby?
That's right.
Well, look, I would advise everyone to look this up. This is absolutely appalling. And he looks like the biggest bro you've ever seen. He's got the backwards cap. He's wearing, go and harass some dudes who aren't wearing shirts. Like, go and say, cover up those nips, man. Like, fuck off. I really fucking hate this shit. Stop policing women's bodies. Don't tell them to wear clothes. Don't tell them not to have abortions. Fuck off.
I know.
Fuck off.
I mean, I know, I bet the all-male new government of the Taliban is probably having similar thoughts.
Well, exactly. This is just ridiculous. This is feeding into a weird vibe at the moment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got two more for you.
Okay.
Pregnant woman claims unemployed feminist partner demanded she get a C-section so their sex life isn't ruined when she gives birth, leaving Reddit in uproar over his ignorance.
Yeah, I understand the mission he's on, but I can't. I think we can't endorse it, unfortunately.
Fuck no, you can't.
No,
I mean, this is outrageous.
Someone said this is. I heard this once. I think it might have been one of my sister's friends who said of sort of a blue collar sort of guy, or that sort of humor and everything, but. He said watching his wife give birth was like watching his favorite pub burn down.
Yes, I have heard someone say this. Yeah, I have.
And you just go like, oh, wow, you like a drink.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to name names, but he was like, he had to make a big deal of having a lot of sex before the baby came because it was like his last chance to
have sex, like tight sex.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, that's so, yeah. Sheila, had you heard that before? Never.
Yes, I have heard that before. Look, I mean, it's an appalling business. I mean, nobody wants to. I mean, for God's sakes. And look, can I get a bit raw with you guys?
Must.
Nobody tells you that really appalling things can happen. Like your fun button. I'm not going to go into specifics. Your fun button can get almost torn off, and then it has to get reattached.
Okay. Well,
that's from a woman's perspective. No one and nobody tells you that. I remember my sister and I walking into a baby shop and going to a section where they had basically these giant sheets of they call them blueies, and we were just standing looking at them going, what the hell are they for? What are they for? What are they for? What's going to happen? Because nobody ever talks about it. Appalling things happen. I think this guy should shut his fucking hole because it is so bad. It's not beautiful. It's crappy. Everything that happens to a woman is crappy in that respect. So
body horror.
I think she needs to put a photo of this guy up, his name, his address.
The shit list.
Yeah.
the media man shit list.
They need to dox this motherfucker for this.
Yeah.
Seriously.
What do you think of the phrase too posh to push?
Well, look, I mean, I totally understand it. I was thrilled because I've done both versions. I've had a cesarean. I've done the other way. And when it was with my first that I had a cesarean, and when they said that's going to happen, I was like, yeah, great. And, they said, oh, could be a bit risky. I said, oh, look, I've had a great life rather than, go through any more of this hell. Yeah, go for it. So, too posh to push. Good. No one should, it's the pain levels. Seriously, if dudes had to go through those pain levels, there would be no natural childbirth.
Well, nuttage is a problem. Like when we get kicked in the nuts.
Oh, sorry about that.
It doesn't go for 12 hours.
That fucking 12 hours? Try 3 days, pricks. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get kicked in the nuts for 3 days. I'm just saying.
How well, some guys do.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes, I've seen a video once.
That's true.
So that's that. But all right, so moving on. I hate that guy so much.
Okay.
And look, moving on now. Jay Leno says cancel culture is now a fact of life and comedians have to change with the times or you die, following criticism from Gabrielle Union for Asian jokes on a GT set.
I've read this. I love this article so much. I think that, I mean, who cares about Jay Leno? Who cares about Gabrielle Union? You know, like, I mean,
I'm sure there's people who care about them.
Well, anyway, you know what I'm saying. There's so much in this article. I don't know where to start. Do you know what I mean? So Jay Leno is essentially saying that, you know, cancel culture is, well, essentially not real, and that, you know,
he says it's here to stay, and that
which is different to Seth Rogen. Sorry. So Seth Rogen's saying, oh, no, cancel culture is just, you know, you had a bad take and it aged badly and you should just say it or not, you know. And whereas Jay Leno's saying, oh, no, it's here. Hey, comrades, it's here to stay, and let's just you just got to change your material. What's the big deal? You know?
Well, he's advocating for, in a way, almost like taking a poll of your audience before you do a performance in a particular city, and then tailoring your material to suit the tastes of your audience, which as a comedian, as an artist, like, that sort of goes against everything. Like,
no, but he's making the argument that he's saying that, oh, yeah, it's like when I go on the road in Utah, I'll do a joke. I won't do any drug jokes, or I won't do any sex jokes here, or whatever. He's got it completely mixed up. Like that, like, we all understand the way comedians going on the road, changing material for the audience is one thing. He's talking about, he's going to the next level. He's saying shit like he's removed all political material from his new act, and his upcoming game show will not feature any political humor aside from generic jokes about Congress being dysfunctional. Jesus Christ. Generic. That is a damning word.
Yeah.
You know?
Look, this plays, I think, into how much you want to be not exactly relevant, but
mainstream.
How mainstream you want to be, and also how owned you are by the dollar.
Yes. So true. So true.
Yeah.
If you're not owned, you can say whatever the fuck you want. But if you want, it's like, I guess, Guy Sebastian coming out in the last couple of days reneging on his anti-vax, not anti-vax,
pro-vax.
on his pro-vax stance. And it's because he wants to be all things to all people, and he's very married to the dollar, and he wants his income stream to remain high. So if that's what you're about, I mean, look at John Cena. He's a joke. That snivelling retraction that he gave
to Red China,
it proves how married to money he is. And the basketballers who did those snivelling retractions, it's about money. So, I mean, I think in this case, Jay Leno is still very much married to the game. It's about his ego and wanting to be on top and be relevant and be rich. Because if he didn't give a shit about those things, he could go about his business.
Yeah, well, I think you're absolutely right. And, I mean, you can see this with someone like Stephen Colbert. When he was on the Colbert Report, he was so edgy and on the knuckle, you know, and it seemed like he had much less stakeholders. And now that he's on that other network doing The Late Show or whatever, he is just a big weeping, like, woke washed simp, like just someone who is, and it's so tough to watch. All of those late night talk show hosts are absolute simps. It's so embarrassing and toe curling to watch them apologize and toe the line and say I mean, you saw it when Jon Stewart went on Colbert's show, right, and they talked about Wuhan lab, and Colbert was just like, essentially just wanting to ridicule him and get him off because he wasn't towing the line because Jon Stewart's not on telly. So he's like, oh well, like I can say, I believe like most people out there that there's something going on in Wuhan, that there's something rotten going on in the state of Wuhan, and I can talk about it.
Yeah. It's very true. I think it is sorting a lot of people out and showing you, because you can't do this forever. You can't be everything to everyone and appease everyone. You have to, if you want to be an artist, because from the dawn of time, a lot of art wouldn't have been made because a lot of art in every form, whether it's racy music or racy pictures or whatever, has gone against the grain and upset people. And now this policing of words is very dangerous. And I think it's going to sort Jay Leno out, because people are just going to go, where's your fucking backbone, mate?
Let's just drill down into some of the detail here because it's great. So he goes on America's Got Talent and he makes a joke, right? He says that he joked about a painting of Simon Cowell and his dogs on the set of America's Got Talent, saying the animals looked like menu items at a Korean restaurant. And Gabriel, why didn't you laugh at that, Sheila? Or are you laughing?
It's just a dumb joke.
It is a dumb joke.
Because it's not a good joke.
No, it's not a good joke.
He should be flayed for the fact that it's just a shit joke.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But then Gabrielle Union says, this is great. I gasped. I froze. Other things had already happened. But at this point, it was so wildly racist, Union said. You cannot edit out what we just experienced. There is not an edit button in my brain or in my soul to experience this kind of racism at my job, and there'd be nothing done about it. No discipline, no company-wide email, no reminder of what's appropriate in the workplace. One more bit. She continued, we're doing a show that is talking about about a global audience, and we're not even asking for preferred pronouns. We should never be put in a position where we are guessing, not when we know better. What do you think of Gabrielle Union?
Okay, look, I think considering the stuff that is going on around the world, it's really hard to quantify those comments. But I mean, and look, if you want to boil it, and I hate to actually say this, but if you wanted to boil it down into fact, I mean, can I ask you guys a question?
Ask away.
So